Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. Pretty excited today because I have a very cool Beatles update. One of my local record stores called me up one day, said they had some pretty cool Beatles records come in, both albums and 45s. So they knew I was interested in some UK pressings and variations, and some actually happened to come in to the shop. So they called me up, told me what they had in. So I brought some of my copies to kind of compare to see if I could upgrade or if there was any slight variations between the two records and if I could upgrade and all that kind of stuff. Or uh, add to the collection if it was a slight variation. So very excited, very thankful for that record store. Luckily, I've gotten to know them for about 8 years or so now, so they kind of know kind of what I'm looking for. I kind of give them some notes here and there, and they kind of write them down, and they always let me know if any cool Beatles stuff come in. So that's always a nice connection to have, and they're always very fair on their prices as well. So we're going to start off with a stack of 45s here, and I got some very cool stuff, but we're going to start off with a more common record here, which is, let me get the right one, which is I Feel Fine. And this is just an original Parlophone copy from 1964, backed with She's a Woman. And I actually already had one, but this one is in a little bit nicer shape than what I had. So really nice shape. So I just kind of traded with him with mine with this one and kind of gave him a couple extra dollars for like kind of an upgrade, and then they can resell mine to kind of like be the same amount of money that they would have sold for this one. So got a nice upgrade of I Feel Fine. I did try to look to see if there's any slight label variations, or I would just kind of straight out bought this one, but they were the exact same pressing, so I went ahead and just swapped it out for a trade. And then this one wasn't quite from their store, but I showed it in my last video. I actually showing off the sleeve, but I didn't. I kind of forgot I didn't actually show this record before in a video, and this is Hey Jude, backed with Revolution. This is an original UK pressing, and this one is kind of cool and unique. That is the I believe the Phillips pressing. It's got the 3-prong 45 push out center. I just want to make sure it's a Phillips contract. Yep, it is. So that one's kind of unique, and this one was kind of weird as well because the back is kind of like double printed, so it looks kind of blurry, but that's just how it is on the record. So that's kind of a bit of an odd printing error kind of thing. I don't really know what that really means, other than it's kind of interesting, I guess. So yeah, I also made a nice sleeve for it using kind of the full mural and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, sorry to add that in. But back to the record stores here. Now these two, pretty cool as well. And I had both of them, but I did a little comparison. And we're going to start off with an export 45 of If I Fell and Tell Me Why. And I did have a copy of this. It was the exact same pressing, but mine didn't have like the push out center, and it was a little bit beat up. So again, I kind of upgraded my copy, gave them a few dollars, and then they could sell my copy. So there is the label. This came out in 1964 as well as an export 45. So there is If I Fell and Tell Me Why. So just happy to have a nice copy of that one now. Again, mine didn't have the push-out center. The Parlophone sleeve was also kind of beat up, so nice to upgrade as is. And then I got real excited when he told me he had this one in. He said that he had a Love Me Do, and I was kind of thinking, it was like, is it an original like red Parlophone one? And sure enough, it was. It didn't have the original sleeve, but that's okay. I actually picked this one up coming up to about a year ago now, at a record show that has the sleeve. And I was like, so if I upgraded or did anything with this one, my copy had the Made in Great Britain text underneath the parlophone or the pound symbol there. And as you can see here, this one does not. So it was a slight label variation. I was kind of looking into the matrix numbers and letters or the tax codes, and to kind of see which, like, when they came out. I think the tax codes here made it from the books I was reading, like late December '62 or early '63, something like that. But still original red parlophone. And then this one also has let me just take it out here. The Lennon McCartney credit with no parentheses to kind of finish off the parentheses there. So that was pretty cool to see. Again, I was looking for one of these for a while, and now I happen to get two with a span of like 10 months. So that's kind of how it works sometimes, but I'm not complaining. And that'll wrap up the 45s. So pretty excited about those pickups for sure, and upgrades. And now we're going to go to the LPs. So he said that he had a Revolver and Abbey Road and a Yellow Submarine. So been looking for a Yellow Submarine in mono for quite a while. And if some of you remember watching a video of maybe a few record store days, Black Fridays ago, there was actually a Yellow Submarine mono at the same store, but someone got there before me and picked it up. So I was kind of bummed out about that. But another one came in. So this is an original UK mono of Yellow Submarine. I know it's just a fold down of the stereo, but this is kind of a bit of an oddity or rarity just to find. Get this note card out of the way in general. So there is the back, and as you can see by the catalog number, it's got the PMC denoting it is in mono. So also comes with the black inner sleeve as well, which is always a nice touch to have as well. But I know those inner sleeves aren't great, so I put one in my sleeves here. And we're going to take a look at the album. So there is the label. First pressing mono. And I'm going to see how they compare to the stereo one, as now I have both versions. And we'll see kind of how they sound. I'm kind of curious to see if it's anything worthwhile or just kind of an oddity, kind of collector kind of thing anyway. So very happy to finally have that in my collection, especially after the record store day where I just missed out on one. But patience is always a key part, and so I'm glad one finally came around to me. So very excited to have that one. I was going back on Discogs, looking it up and putting it in the collection, and I have one on my want list for about 6 years now. It's kind of when it was like last updated. So I think that was the first time I actually got onto Discogs. It was about 6 years ago, and I started putting everything on the Discogs. So as you can tell, I've been wanting one for quite a while now. Okay, let's go on to Abbey Road. And he said he had a first pressing of Abbey Road. He did tell me it was not a misaligned apple, though. So I brought my original one with me just to see if it could upgrade or anything like that. But I ended up picking it up because there was a slight label variation. So this is my copy of Abbey Road that I brought with me. It's pretty good shape. And this is the first pressing with no Her Majesty on the label. And then I was kind of expecting the same thing from the first pressing here. This is the one I picked up. But if you might have guessed that I mentioned about Her Majesty, this one has Her Majesty on the label. It's kind of tough to see, but it's at the very bottom there. So, again, slight label variation. The record's in pretty nice shape as well. It's always nice to have a UK pressing of Abbey Road anyways. So, feel pretty good about Abbey Roads now for the UK pressing. The only one I'll be looking after next would be the misaligned apple, which will have that just a little bit pushed out from the column of from the songs. So I'll be looking out for one of those. The question is, would I sell my other copy, like if the one has a misaligned apple with no Her Majesty on the label, would I sell the other one because I have a regular one, or would I keep both of it because it's slightly different? So we'll get there when we get there. Um, but the last one here is going to be Revolver, and he did mention on the phone that it had the withdrawn mix, and I did have one for quite a while ago. I think I just kind of found one on eBay for a pretty good price, so I brought mine with it. It was in like okay shape, like probably VG kind of condition. So what did I do with that one here? So I had two copies of Revolver. I had a standard mix and a withdrawn mix. And let's see what we got here. So this one is going to be a little bit interesting to explain, so bear with me here. So I did end up picking up their copy. Again, I did a little upgrade. This was in nice shape. Mine was a little beat up. So I traded that one with them, paid a little bit for this one, and then they could sell my copy. But the reason why I traded with them, not because only the condition was a little better. I had a nice inner sleeve as well, the Emitex inner sleeve. But this copy has the Ernest J. Day cover sleeve. And the one that I have was a Garrett and Lofthouse one. And the one that I had already that wasn't a withdrawn mix was also a Garrett and Lofthouse. So I decided to kind of like split up the pair so I can have a couple different sleeves. So I know that's kind of a very small detail and all that kind of stuff, but it made sense for me. And again, the other one was in a nicer shape. So this is the one I already have, as that's the Garrett and Lofthouse pressing with the normal non-withdrawn mix, and then this one has Ernest J. Day sleeve at the bottom with the withdrawn mix. So let me show you the condition of the record here. So here is the old Parlophone label. And on side one, it's going to have a -2 at the very end of the matrix numbers. But the way to tell for withdrawn mix is that it ends with -1 at the bottom. So it's going to be XEX 606-1. So that's how you tell with withdrawn mix. It has a slightly different ending with Tomorrow Never Knows. So that is how you can tell. And as you can see, they had a lot of good stuff come into their store. Again, very good prices on these as well, and it definitely helped that I could trade in my copies to help with the prices and stuff like that. So very happy overall. Typically don't find this kind of stuff in my area, so I was very pleased to see a lot of original UK items out and about, at least in my local store. And again, I'm very thankful that they called me up to let me know this came in. So that's going to wrap up this Beatles update. And I got a few more stuff from some other record stores I went out and about, so I might have a record store showcase here soon. Also with the Paul McCartney Boys of Dungeon Lane, I got a couple variations that have got to come through the mail, and I also have a pretty cool idea for what the album cover could have looked like. So it's more than a little bit better than just the plain white sleeve. So I'll probably kind of show that whenever those records come in. So hope you enjoyed seeing all those UK pressings here, and hope you learned something as well. And I'll see you on the next one.